Good evening, everybody. This is Ezra Suber for Void and Mary's Baby Boy with the 3F podcast Faith, Family, and Fatherhood, changing families' destinies one father at a time. And we have part two to what has been the most amazing story since I've had my podcast. We got more hits, more views than anybody's story. This is Ty Hall. She is an amazing lady. I've known her for many years. She's a professional chef. She's actually what you call a battle chef. She's been on different cooking shows. She's been on Chopped Rooftop and things like that. But she is one of 24 million people in the country who don't know who their biological father is. And just last month, right?
Yes, 1 month.
One
One
month.
month, and on Friday of this week, it'll be 1 month and 1 week.
1 month she's known her father. And what's your age?
I am 42 and a half.
Mind body. And half. Okay.
42 and a half.
So for those who didn't catch the first part, give us a recap and then we can go from where we are from there.
A really brief recap is through Ancestry DNA, I was able to get in contact with my cousin, who turned out to be my aunt, by way of my father's little sister. And we did a thing. She called him, which repaired them. They had not spoken for 7 years. And then he called me. And from that day to this, there's been not one day where he has not FaceTimed me, where he has not called me. I have no other biological sisters or brothers on his side, but I have 3 sisters and 2 brothers. Yeah, 3 sisters and 2 brothers on his side that he adopted.
Now, Ty, you said something last week that I thought was powerful. You had some resentment naturally.
Of course.
And we're speaking to all children out there who may not know who their fathers are. Maybe they don't know. Maybe they know, but maybe their fathers aren't in their life. So we understand the resentment and the hurt and the pain. But the thing you said was once you begin to forgive, things started falling in place for you to find out. And I think that's so important because when you can forgive, blessings start to happen.
Yeah.
I was always taught by one of my teachers that the spirit of the hurt and the spirit of the healing, they're two different spirits. And when you lower some of the hurt down a little bit through forgiveness, then the spirit of the healing can come up. So I thought that was pretty good. How important was the forgiveness to, do you think, making things happen?
Forgiveness was everything. And it's because I had to accept an apology that has never come, and I don't think it ever will come. And that's okay, because once I let go, I felt a weight lifted off of me, right? And that's the biggest thing when it comes to forgiveness. You're not forgiving them for themselves, you're forgiving them for yourself. Because
Yes.
they kind of live rent free in your head. You walking around and you don't like them and you don't forgive them, and they ain't thought about you. So I'm not going to make my blood pressure go up or anything else go off whack because you're not even thinking about me. So all of that literally is the reason why I think at that moment it was supposed to happen. Because at 5 years ago, for instance, I wasn't in a place where I would have been able to receive him and want to hear his story. And I think that's the biggest part, is that when you look at your genetic makeup, right? We have one mouth and 2 ears. But we talk to respond, not listen for understanding. And in this case, since my mother, who is still alive, gave me nothing.
Now that's what we got to hit. This is from my buddy Byron who was asking the question.
Okay. Well, I'm going to answer your question, Byron.
How did because the mother had a child, but you didn't know it was the father, but she knew, so what happened?
Okay, so hopefully I don't really offend anybody, but it is what it is. This is my story. AIT in the military, depending on what branch you are, stands for Advanced Individual Training, or amongst soldiers, behind is temporary. You a jump off. You do what you do. Some of them last forever, some of them don't. My mom and dad were the ones that didn't last forever. And in that vein, they did what they did. They were adults. He went to her when it's the time for them to graduate. Hey, anything me and you need to discuss? Is there anything that we can talk about? Do you need to keep my information for anything? My mother, if you know her, being true to herself, was upset, took a drink as if, how dare you, threw it in his face, went on about her business. 9 months later, here I come. Now, you know his name. Ironically, I'm named directly after my father. Right? So that's like the little kiss of, but that's all I'm willing to give you. My first name is Tanella, which was a hybrid, but my father's name is Michael Terrell. My middle and last name were Michelle Terrell. So I was literally named after him, but I was never told anything about him.
So are you saying your mother knew, course?
Of course she did. I mean, you remember, even Reba McEntire made a song, I think his name was John. Right? You know who you lay down with. Whatever the case is, you know a name, you know something. So again, that was her thing and her baggage that she is yet to unpack. But the story that I was given, or the words, after I went to her and I said, hey Ma, I found my dad. Oh, he's still alive? Yeah, he is. Okay. I let it go that night because I was in my emotion. The next day on, when it's time for us to leave, I sit beside her on the bed and I'm like, Mom, look, at this point it's over, it's done. I done met him now. Like, so what's up? What's the story? And I didn't know my father, so why should you know yours? Again, her words, but 7 years ago, I forgave her. So no matter what she says this year, 4 years from now, or whatever from now, I already forgave you. So I can't pick it back up and be mad. Actually, I can, because that's hurtful. It's very hurtful. But coming from, or understanding where she comes from, understanding that she couldn't see past her own pain and her own hurt, she has to live in that. She has to deal in that. I cannot, I will not, I won't, and I don't. My father, if you call him right now and we start talking, he will ask, hey, how Tony doing? Is she okay? Everything okay? Because as hurt as he is, God does everything for a reason.
Because he never knew he had a biological child.
No. He was a preemie at birth, so you got to think of in the 50s when he was born, that, black male, there's no urgent to care to make sure this child survive or whatever. And then through a childhood accident or something, the grandparents and the parents, Michael can't have kids. Something happened to him back in such and such. Yeah, that boy can't have no kids. So if you start to believe the words that are spoken over you, which for most women we get, you're not good enough, you'll never be anything, and men get it too, right? So when you look at it and you actually believe these words that they're saying to you, you kind of take it for fact.
Right.
But my father had no other children but me, and I look like him.
I heard also through my research that children who don't know their biological father, there's some issue with identity. Did you have any of that?
Of course you do. I made up stories. I told the most grandiose stories of my father being in the war, my father being somewhere, because I knew I was birthed on a military installation. Like, that's where I was conceived. So I just made up these wild stories that my dad was away at the war, my dad was somewhere, but he just wasn't with me. And then you grow out of those stories. And when you grow out of those stories, then the pain and the hurt come in. But like I told you in the last episode, he wasn't there to lie to me. He was never there to disappoint me. And in one of the letters, the last letters that I wrote on Facebook, I told him, I thank you for showing me exactly what I did not want, right, to bring into my family. And also thank you for never lying to me and for never disappointing me. And as that result, happy Father's Day. And if I have any siblings, tell them I said I love them. And I hope that they make your day as beautiful as it should be.
So that was a letter you wrote when you didn't know?
That was the last letter I wrote to him. And if you want to, my name is Tanella Hall on Facebook. You can go in and put it in the search in Father's Day. And it was 2019, and that was when I posted that. That was the last time I made a post. And I literally told them the kids have graduated high school. are all off to college. I'm still married to my husband. I realize I'm the child that was forgotten, but tell my brothers and sisters, if I have any, that I love them, and I love you.
And that forgiveness, that letting go, I think paved the way for what happened last month.
Yes. Speaking of which, and I know we running over, but this story is worth it, right? Let me see if I get my dad on the phone.
That'd be cool.
Let me see if I get my dad on the phone. Let's see if I get my dad.
Pops is cool.
See what to go through. Sorry, y'all. We working with technology. I probably should have tried to call him a minute ago. Come on, go through. Any other time it go through, right? It's either the Wi-Fi here or something. Because I'm trying to do a Wi-Fi call to him for y'all to sing. But you know, they say where there's a will, there's a way. So let me.
Maybe the third episode, baby.
We can come back for a third one.
We go see him.
Hey, now he would love that. Oh my gosh, he would love that.
Ops.
He would love it. And I'm telling y'all, I know.
We also are thankful for Ty for telling this story because, you know, even before I asked her a few times, are you sure? Are you cool? Because I respect people's privacy and family things, you know. So it's very big of her. She's not doing it for herself. She's doing it for other people also.
I don't know if y'all can see that, but I look just like my dad.
Yeah.
I look just like my daddy.
She's doing it for other people also, so we really appreciate it. I think it's going to help some people. Like I said, I have some friends who don't know who their biological fathers are, so I know this is a big deal. So for you to do this, I super appreciate you. You guys check out Ty Hall. She's a battle chef. She has her own company. She's doing some things. Go to her Facebook page. Go to her website. She's doing some things, and she can cook. She can throw down.
Just a lot.
She can throw down.
Just a little something. Just a little something.
Yep. So we really think this is a great story. We really appreciate you sharing this story. I know it's gonna be a blessing to a lot of people. This is the 3F podcast. Want to say something?
Never give up.
Yeah.
Never.
That's the question I want to ask you.
Up.
That's my bad. What would you say to the person who's in the situation you were in a couple of years ago who don't know who their biological father is?
Reggie, you try to call him. Honestly, what I can tell you is I put my desires that I wanted by my favorite scripture in the Bible, right? And then I completely let go and let God. And my one prayer was that if you grant me the time to see my father, that he won't have already passed on, that I will be able to see him, and even if it's just for a brief moment, he will know that I had already forgave him and that there was nothing but love.
Awesome.
Walk in the love that you want from others and do it with no expectation. When you do things with no expectation, you have no room to be let down. So that is my one thing. And I was trying to talk louder because when you're outside, this is what happens, right? It was a big truck. But if you did not hear me, do things with no expectation. That way you're never let down and you don't have to worry about the pain on the other side because there was no expectation in the first place.
That agape love. Huh?
Yes. I didn't know what that was. I ain't gonna lie to you until I had to start walking in it. Work on yourself first, forgive yourself, and then forgive those people around you, and let it go.
So you can be free.
Don't pick them back up though. What, Maya Angelou, when they show you who they are, believe them
the first time.
And with my mom, she showed me who she was throughout my childhood, but because it's your mother, you're always supposed to. And what God showed me was what he wrote in his scripture. Honor your mother and your father that your days may be long.
Proverbs.
My honor in her was to honor her from a distance. To never disrespect her.
That's right.
To never not love her.
That's right.
But I also don't have to be around you. I am there when you need me in a way that I can be there for you because I am your daughter. But I do not have to subject myself to any narcissistic love or that guilt love. Like, I did this for you, so you do this for me. It's not needed.
I think we might have to do a part 3 and put Pops on here.
He gonna have to.
Because he's a trip.
I tried to call him, and he is hilarious.
He's a trip, man. But anyway, this is the 3F podcast: faith, family, and fatherhood, changing families' destinies one father at a time. If you think information like this is good, go to our YouTube channel, 3F Podcast YouTube, and we will be back soon. Thank you.